Find a formula for the nth term of the sequence negative 1/2, positive 1/4, negative 1/8, positive 1/16, negative 1/32. Here we have a fraction in each of these terms, and we also are alternating between negatives and positives. So for the fractional part, I want to take a look at the numerator and denominator separately. The numerator here is pretty simple. All of the numerators are just 1, so of course the numerator for the nth term is also going to be 1. If we look in the denominators, we've got 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, etc. These are powers of 2, specifically 2 to the first, 2 to the second, 2 to the third, 2 to the fourth, and 2 to the fifth. So we can see here the first term has 2 to the first in the denominator, the second term has 2 to the second, the third has 2 to the third, and so the nth is going to have 2 to the nth in the denominator. Now the last thing we need to look at is the fact that we are having an alternating sequence with terms alternating from negative, positive, etc. For an alternating sequence, we're going to have one of two possibilities outside. It's either going to be negative 1 to the nth or negative 1 to the n plus first. The reason it could be one or the other is because one of these will start off with a positive first term and the other one will start off with a negative first term, and we need the power of negative 1 to line up so that the correct terms are negative here. Let's take a look at this first one, negative 1 to the n times 1 over 2 to the nth. If we look at the first term here, a sub 1, it would be negative 1 to the first times 1 over 2 to the first. Now negative 1 to the first is negative, so we're going to have negative out front and 1 over 2. And this matches our first term, so that tells us that this is actually the correct formula. And so it's going to be a sub n equals negative 1 to the n times 1 over 2 to the n. If we were to try the other formula for the first term, we'd have negative 1 to the 1 plus 1 times 1 over 2 to the first, which would be negative 1 squared times 1/2, and a negative times a negative is a positive, so we would end up with positive 1/2. Unfortunately, that does not match what the first term is for our sequence. We know it needs to be negative 1/2, so that tells us that we're going to have negative 1 to the n times 1 over 2 to the n. When you've got an alternating sequence like this, there are always going to be two possibilities for the power of negative 1, either n or n plus 1, and you just have to try to look and see at one term which one of these actually matches up with what you can expect.